We're having a mini knowledge sharing session.
Yes, knowledge sharing session. You said that. I'm actually quite impressed with such a bright idea. You really hit the ground running. I thought it's, why didn't you think about that? But it's really necessary, yeah, for us to synchronize in the team and bring, spread the knowledge, the experience and down, so that we actually give our service at the same level, which is actually doable. So this is laudable. Thank you so much.
Sir, I learned that you just came back from a project management course, project management and aviation. Tell me more.
Oh, okay. Basically, yes, project management is intriguing. It's just a part of the master's in aeronautics from the Embredo, which I did. I picked particular interest in project management, aviation, aerospace because, okay, one, aviation, this is primarily my catchment area. For about 15 years plus, I've been accumulating knowledge in this sector, building on it purposefully, because I had identified a need for project management in a way that actually solves problems behind the scenes. You see, I went to an airport in Yaoundé, and after clearing the customs immigration, I had to pass through a canal, and I was carrying my luggages. I had to go on a staircase and climb up. It was not a very funny experience for me. I went to another airport, generally what we're used to. This as close as Accra. In the Western world, you get this in a uniform structure, and there are escalators. So I thought about it. Oh, I came down here with my bags, and it was convenient. Somebody behind the scenes must have thought about this and implemented it. So I felt, okay, wow, I want to play a part, something bigger than me, where I could be behind the scenes and be a part of a project that actually delivers this level of ease to traveling public and passengers. So this is the idea of project management. And aviation, like we said, this is my catchment area. I had to look inwards at solving the problems that pertain to projects in aviation and aerospace.
Thank you very much, sir. I was going through some of your notes and I saw something like CRM. In banking, we call that credit risk management.
You see, the knowledge for a project manager in aviation has to be holistic. CRM in aviation terms is crew resource management.
Wow.
Yeah, but I like this, that is where this is actually an ingenious, this is innovation, where we can bring about, the principles that make banking efficient and merge it with these principles of crew resource management. It's a tool for us in aviation that when you apply to project management in aviation aerospace, it adds up to the knowledge areas, the 10 great knowledge areas that make a complete project, that define if the project is going to be actually a success or a failure.
Why do projects fail?
Little knowledge is so dangerous, is more dangerous than no knowledge at all. When you don't have any knowledge, you're not going to attempt. But with little knowledge, I can give you an example. In aviation, people are conscious. People want to be safe. They want to travel from point A to point B and arrive safely because they've heard and they've experienced and they've had stories of accidents. And in aviation, it can only be a calamity if an accident occurs. So the word safety gets thrown around quite easily in an aviation system where safety is actually not taken into consideration adequately. Somebody could come out and say, no, yeah, we've designed this aircraft or we've designed this airport system with the utmost safety, and that kind of like, sugarcoats. Yeah, let's look at it like this. You make a cake. A cake is baked. It is not well baked. It's rotten on the inside, and then you do a fine icing on it. And then people are confident to cut through the icing and eat this cake and get sick. Now let's rather pay attention to baking a cake that is actually edible and healthy for somebody to just, even without the icing on. That is the analogy of safety. So little knowledge is so dangerous that in aviation, it's always a calamity at the end of the day when you know
when there's a plane crash or something.
it doesn't have to. It could be a failure of an airport system. I'll give you an example practically. Most recently, there has been congestion at the Murtala Mohammed Airport here in Lagos, in Nigeria. So the government deemed it to find a partnership somewhere with the Chinese and then make another terminal. Very nicely constructed terminal, a terminal in Abuja, in Enugu, Port Harcourt, and then Lagos. I think about 4 terminals around the country. Yeah. However, the one in the Lagos airport was put in a space where the ramp, the parking area where the aircrafts come and park and access the gate, the ramp is not sufficient for wide-body aircrafts. And the aim, was to expand the ramp to decongest the old one. Now, if at the planning stage of the project, all this was taken into cognizance, as far as this project is concerned, it's a failure because they are preferring solutions after putting the structure like, oh, there's not enough space for wide-body aircraft with big wings to come in, so we can board in a bus from this terminal and go on a ramp to another part of the airport where people come down. So look at it, during adverse weather, there could be a storm, there could be a sandstorm, there could be a rainstorm. You have to take your luggages with your computer or iPad or books or whatever hand luggage you travel with. After checking into, how much more convenient and safe would it be? You understand, if you're not under the elements of the weather and you just came through the boarding gate like every other airport, So these are the areas where you see that a project failed because a lack of an adequate coverage of the 10 areas of knowledge that is required for project management. And that's the basic reason why projects fail. The deficiency in one of the knowledge areas.
Does practical experience suffice for project management skill sets?
That is what most people assume. Oh, I have experience. I'll give you another analogy. Somebody could have just learned how to drive in a park. They are driving on the highway without formal education, without a driving test, which is not obtainable in a developed world, but it happens sometimes in our parts. You can see that you can challenge them if they are driving poorly, or they don't just have the knowledge about what to do on a bend or this. And they'll tell you, I've been driving for 20 years or 15 years, way before you were born, or something like this, It can only get on for so long until the day they are involved in an accident and maybe people lose their lives, unfortunately, But this is just a function of what was always going to happen, just with a matter of time, So practical, when you bring that to aviation aerospace, just like it was when we started the idea of education, we just went to school. They told us, go to school. And then we started going. And at the end of the line, we started finding ourselves and realized what we wanted to do with this education, and we started streamlining. At this high level that people are already cognitive, adults and all that, you can say why you have to get this knowledge. You have to first get the formal knowledge. It's an invention. There's a science. It's established, I'm only convinced now after being educated in project management because I had undertaken projects before my knowledge of this. So now in hindsight, I laugh at myself. I look at the waste, I look at the unnecessary, the communication lapses, the resources, the time, the scope was even achieved. Like, oh, now you could go into a house and you're looking for where to connect a phone because you didn't look at it that, oh, this part of the house, this is what, is it going to be a study? Is it going to be, or this office? So these kind of things happen and, then imagine the stress of every day going into a workstation to go and look for where to connect a laptop, and then you charge it to some extent, and then you come back and you work, and then you go and, So but at the beginning, at the planning stage, if you know exactly what is for, this is the reason why the information that you get from the formal education is very important before you build the expertise. So the information that you get from a formal education, especially in project management, is of the utmost importance. And then you can now go and build the experience while deploying this information. while you're building that experience, while you are deploying it, you can only do a process development and a process improvement with the future projects.
Yeah.
You understand? I'll give you an example. So Aviation here, you can see this lovely cabin we have behind. We had an idea that we need more space. We need a good workspace. The staff said, oh, something outside, outdoors, let's have a garden area, let's have, a cabin where we can sit out, and this should just be the travel cabin. And the experience side, it's a bit less uptight, we're more productive. We said, okay, being a project manager in aviation and aerospace, I said, okay, let me apply all the principles I've learned, on this. So we had a bare land, started from scratch. And the planning, the life cycle of the project is the most important, stage is the planning. We plan that, okay, what do we need? We now say, oh, we actually need, how do we power the cabin? We said, okay, let's do some renewable energy power source. We went for, so after deliberation, we went for solar power for the cabin. We planned. At that stage, we got together our resources. We said, this is when the plumber will come. This is when the tiler will come. This is when the electrician will put together, And because of that, it flowed. We put our resources. We used the applications that we have in project management. We scheduled the appointments. This person comes, after this person. It was seamless. There were minimal time on site. Everybody knew exactly what to do, and it was very efficient. It cost less. It cost less time to get it done. The scope was achieved. We knew exactly where the plugs have to come to for the workstation to be covered. We knew where the lighting has to be for a logo on the wall and all that. And then you don't have to go and retrofit. Retrofit is very expensive, one, and it doesn't give you the original, doesn't deliver the needs of the stakeholders. So we talked about talk to the stakeholders. These are the staff that are going to be working in this cabin. The people that their workstation is going to be here. Now, what else do you need? Oh, we need we need a water dispenser. Oh, this water dispenser may need more higher power than the lighting point. So what do we do? Okay, we'll make a hybrid power. The electrical powering guys were invited, the plumbing guys, the tiling guys, and then we looked at, okay, what time are you able to come and do this? What time are you, at what stage? What can we combine? What can we do together in a day and all that? And we had a timeline for the project. You'll be amazed that exactly the time that we allocated for it. So the science works perfectly. And I looked at it and I said, wow, okay. So if we can get, a cabin from scratch to this, and we wanted to do it in 2 weeks, we've gotten the materials, we planned everything that was going to fit in. We met the scope, we met the procurement and all that. Then we can, transpose this to a bigger project. I'll give, maybe it's just like when we were in school. The examples in mathematics were very easy, but the questions in the exam were much harder, But what happened? We were able to solve them, you understand, and all that, So you can only apply those principles, and you see that it works at the end of the day. So it's very important.
Wow, I feel so enlightened. Now, I'm talking to a certified aerospace project manager. Am I right?
No,
I think I'm trying to get the title right.
No, yeah, you're correct. I like to look at it as an expertise rather than the title. Okay. When I mentioned about being, behind the scenes, you understand, I thought one or two things that happened in aviation, and I stood back and I see people enjoy it, just not even stopping to acknowledge you, but I got more satisfaction from even,
So what
that is
is
how it should
the
be.
single most important skill set or principle of project management that you'd like us to take home?
Okay, I'll give you two. Yeah, I'm in the mood to be generous.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Let's talk about skill set.
Skill set and principle.
Skill set and principle, okay. I look at project crashing. It's an aspect of project management where, you are able to be able to solve problems as they arise during the course of the project. You can have excellent planning, but it may not always go as planned, So what do you have to put in the strata as you go, as you meet the challenges, to be able to resolve. That is one very vital skill set. I would say, in fact, when you see how challenging it is, for project crashing, when you see a project failing and you have to, recover the project, you have to save it, you now pay so much attention, you're more detailed to ensure that there doesn't arise a need for project crashing, The planning stage of a project, in the life cycle of a project, that is the single most important skill set to have, because it brings you your communication, your managerial skills into play. It's all dependent on your besides your expertise, is how much, project management in aviation aerospace. If anything, it taught me that I don't know so much. Wow. The more knowledge you have, you realize how much you don't know.
The more you know, the lesser.
It makes me very open to, contacting a lawyer, contacting, an accountant, a professional in every field, requisites to what the niche, the scope, and what we need, So at that planning stage, when you have this knowledge that you don't know so much, and you invite, these professionals to come in, it makes the rest of the life cycle of a project seamless. You just go on and you put the building blocks that people that know more about you in those areas, you guys have deliberated and brainstormed and come up with a solution. You implement it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
So you promised me 2 principles. I can only remember project crashing.
Yeah, we actually said project planning.
Oh.
At the beginning of the project life cycle, you have the planning. Planning is a critical skill, because to be able to manage the communication, to be able to, like we said, know how much, as much as you would know even in aviation aerospace, to acknowledge that, your own life experiences and your experiences in aviation, your knowledge, the path you take, there are other people that went another route and had other experiences unique, from yours, and that is the time, to be accommodating, to bring in, more good heads to be able to, plan, to be able to put down, envisage every possible scenario, and then put it down, and then, it's critical, project planning. So you can add that to project crashing.
So I now have project planning and project crashing. Okay, so now that we have a certified project manager in aviation airspace at REMAT, I think we should commercialize this skill. What do you think?
No, like we said, is REMAT is here. We have over 40 years of very good experience across aviation aerospace. One of our directors is a reputable lawyer in practice in the UK and in the US, over 20 years and 25 years in the US combined. Definitely, we have that kind of a team at REMAT that, but we want to be, like you said, it's not, it's something we get more satisfaction from it being behind the scenes and making a project come together that people don't know, you don't have to think about how it was done. You just go about your business that is done and that you can enjoy that facility. So, yes, anybody can feel free to contract REMAT Aviation because of this expertise that we have in a consultancy capacity, you understand, in a project manager capacity, and I will be definitely available to bring the expertise to bear. Could it be building a whole airport from scratch? It could just be a part of an existing aviation system, like a baggage system at a particular airport, where we could, bring in some innovation to solve the problem. If we're having congestion at the airport, it could be starting an airline, fleet management, all that is part of project management in aviation airspace, which we are happy, at any time to participate and contribute to the bettering of such a reality.
Wow. This is the best knowledge sharing session I've ever had. Thank you very much, sir. I think we should do this more often.
Yeah, but your idea and this is plausible. We should, because there is much more that we have to talk about. There is the air transport system that we're yet to delve into. You understand? We talk about safety management systems. You know, the safety engineering of any system. It could be like what we applied. Why bringing up this project and what we could apply. You understand, when the checks and balances that need to be in place. It's a whole ball of knowledge that we'll explore, you know. So yeah, let's bring it on and see how much knowledge we can share.
Thank you very much for your time.
Too. Thank you so much. It was nice chatting with you too.
It was nice chatting with you.
Yeah, let's do this more often. We'll see.
Okay, so right now I feel like a certified project manager already. Thank you very much for staying with us. We've come to the end of this knowledge sharing session from Aviation. My name is Aviation Winifred Judiovi. Thank you.